I think. Okay. Hello? Anyone here? Um, so, okay. Thank you for you guys to welcome to our Chinese channel. So today, I think we're going to learn for Chinese. Okay, so let me turn to the page one. Okay, so today we are going to learn Chinese. Okay, so as we know, Pinyin is very important for the Chinese. So today we are going to learn for the Pinyin part, and we are also going to learn one Chinese sentence to teach you guys like how to say that in Chinese. Okay, so today's topic is like 我在. That means I'm located in somewhere. Okay, so let's see the next page. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that would be the all we are going to learn today. So let's go back to the first part. So the first part is for the phonetic system for the pinyin. Yeah. Okay. So anyone know about the pinyin? Have you ever learned pinyin before? Okay. Okay. So we can check it here. Okay. So you can see. So for pinyin in Chinese, right? A syllable is composed of the initial, a final, and a tone. So the consonant at the beginning of the syllable is called the initial, and the rest of syllable is called the final. Mandarin Chinese has 4 basic tones. So let's borrow like one phrase to analyze for this. So you can see. So for this basic phrase is for hello. That means 你好. So you can see on the top we got the pinyin. So pinyin is for pronunciation, and on the bottom we got these Chinese characters. So the Chinese characters for reading and writing. Okay, so that will be the 2 parts for the Chinese. We got the pinyin, we got Chinese characters. Okay, so now today we are focused on the pinyin part. So pinyin is composed of 3 parts, right? So we got the initial, we got final, and we got tone mark. Okay, yeah. Okay, so continue for the next one. So that would be for the pinyin. Okay, so the next one will be, okay. So now today we're going to learn for like 3 basic single vowels. Okay, so we can see there are like 3 letters, right? So actually Chinese, okay, Chinese and English, they have the same like letters, right? They're like 26. So you can see here, but for the pronunciation, they are different. So for the first one, we can see here. So this one, the letter actually is A, right? But in Chinese, we pronounce like just like when you go to see the dentist. So the dentist will ask you to open your mouth, try to pronounce, right? Try to make sound like right? So exactly the same sound for this Okay, yeah. So this is So next one. So next one, O, right? In English we say like O. So this is the sickle, but in Chinese a little bit different. So in Chinese we're going to pronounce like O, O. It's kind of short, and also the shape of your mouth should like the sickle, right? Like O, O. So that would be pronunciation for this O. Okay. So let's go back to the last one. So the last one will be this one, I, right? But in Chinese, we are going to pronounce this word like E, Yeah, we're going to pronounce that longer. And so this pronunciation is the same as the number 1 in Chinese. Also, it's like E. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, we say E, R, 三. See, so that letter sounds like exactly the same as the number 1. So that will be E, E. Okay, so let's review for these 3 single vowels again. So the first one will be ah, ah. Okay, second will be o, o. Last one will be e, e. Okay, so that would be these 3 single vowels. Okay, any question? So if you guys have any question for this, this vowel, so just type. Okay, yeah. So if you think like the any vowel, okay, it's kind of hard to pronounce, so I can help you to practice more. Okay, yeah. So if you guys don't have any questions, so let's move to the next one. So the next page, I think we're going to do more practice with these like 3 single vowels. Yeah. Okay. So one more time for this. So the first one that be ah, ah. Second that be o, o. Next one will be e, e. Okay. So the bottom line, the first one will be o, o. Next one will be e, e. Okay. So the last one will be ah, ah. Okay. Yeah, I think it's kind of easy, right? It's not that hard. Okay, so let's check the next one. Okay, so this is also for the practice. Okay, so now let's move on to these these like initials. So in Chinese, actually, so initials cannot be pronounced by themselves. They need to be read together with the finals. Yeah, so just for example, we got the initials on the left side, right? So that would be okay. So we also have a little bit different, okay, about the pronunciation. So the first one would be bo, bo. Okay. Next one will be po, po. Okay. So the last initial will be mo, mo. Okay. Together it's like bo, po, mo. Okay. Yeah, a little bit different, but it's fine, right? Okay, so now let's put this initial and the final together. Try to pronounce. Okay, so for example, for the first one, so the first initial is like bo, right? So the final will be ah. So together, so bo ah ba ba. Okay, so that will be the pronunciation for the first pinyin. Okay, ba. So next one is bo, o, bo. So that would be bo. Okay. So the last one here is like bo, e, b, b. So that pronunciation is just like sounds like the letter B, right? Yeah, B. Okay. Yeah. So together. So one more time for the bo line. Okay. So that would be ba, bo, b. Okay. So next one, next initial. So that would be po a, pa, pa. Okay. Po o, po, po. Last one. Po i, p, p. Okay. Yeah. So again. Okay. So that would be pa, po, P. Okay, any question? Okay, yeah, if we don't have any questions, so we're going to move to the next one. Okay, so then the last initial will be mo. So that would be the first one. Should be mo a ma ma. So this p ma, yeah, actually is for the mother in Chinese. Yeah, I think like in English, sometimes you also will say mama, right? Yeah. So in Chinese also is mama, means like mother. Ma, ma, ma. Okay. Yeah, so the next one will be mo, o, mo, mo. Okay, mo. So the last one, mo, e, me. That will be me. Okay, so 3 being together. So the first one like ma, second mo, me. Okay, yeah, so I think that's all for these, the pin chart there. Okay, any question? Okay, yeah, don't be shy to type something. Okay, if you guys have something like you think that is kind of like hard to understand, or you don't know like how to pronounce it, just type it. Okay, so I will see. Yeah, if you don't have any questions, so I'm going to move to the next page. Okay, yeah, okay, maybe you are too smart for that. That would be super easy for you guys, right? Okay, so let's see the next one. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now we're going to move to the tone marks. Yeah. Okay. For these tone marks, so in Chinese we got like 4 different tones. Okay. Yeah. And when you get used to it, actually it's not that hard at all. Okay. So you can see. So the first tone, right? The first tone is like flat and straight. So when we pronounce it, it's more like okay, so in this case, we're going to borrow one final here, because we normally just put the tone on the top of the final. Okay, we cannot put a tone on the top of like initial. Okay, so this is why we're going to like borrow like final here. So okay, so this is right? You remember for the first final we learned. So this is right? Okay, what do you mean like no? Okay, so that means like you don't have any question for that? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, just type like anything. Yeah, you want to ask. Okay. So when I see that, when I saw it, I will replay that for you. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, just come back to this like tone. So the first tone. So this is like okay. I don't know if you'll notice that. Actually, for this actually it's like pronounced like longer, right? But when we put the first tone on the top of this like final, it should be like much longer. Yeah, so we're gonna pronounce that like longer than that before. Okay, so this like okay. If sometimes you don't know like how long you should like keep pronounce that one, so maybe you can just like you can count like 2 seconds. Okay, yeah, like okay, so that would be the first tone. Okay, so the next one is the second tone, right? Second tone you can see is like goes up, right? Yeah, so that means we're going to like raise up tone. Okay, so that would be like yeah, okay, so this pronunciation actually we have like cool like for you guys to remember or try to pronounce that like more standard. Yeah, because like in English, sometimes like when you are surprised, right? So sometimes you will say like what, right? So you can say what is like you're going to like raise your tongue to say that, right? So in Chinese, they are the same. Okay, so also it's like ah, like ah. Okay, so the second tone is like ah, ah. Okay, any question? Okay. Okay, so now let's move to the like third tone. Okay, third tone you can see the third tone is like goes down a little bit, then we're going like goes up, right? So about this one, so we are going to have like two sound together, but you are going to like read that so fast. Okay, yeah. So this like third tone is like ah, like ah, yeah. So I just find a way to pronounce that. Actually, you can like borrow this like not head action to help you that pronunciation. So like like yeah. Or you think that is like hard? Maybe you can think about like another word in English, because we are going to say like like okay so like yeah. So they're also the same. Okay, the same pronunciation. Okay okay. So this is yeah. Okay, so the next one, so the last one, that would be like the first tone, right? The first tone is like goes down, right? So that means when we pronounce that that tone, we're going to like read that fast. Also like yeah, also with your angry mood, So sometimes we're going to say like ah. Okay, so this is ah. Okay, and I think it's more like yeah. So in here in this page, you also can find the clue there, right? So when you get angry, yeah. So if you don't want to like do something, like people ask you like to do something, yeah, you want to answer like no, right? No, say that angrily. Okay, no. So yeah, so that pronunciation in Chinese also can pronounce like ah. Okay, yeah. Okay, so like I have like a lot of like students. Okay, they also like at the beginning when they learn for these like different like terms, they just say like what like learn Chinese. Okay, for this thing, especially for the terms, is very emotional. Yeah, because you're going to put like a lot of like mood. Okay, try to pronounce for these like terms. Yeah, so yeah. Okay, but when you like get used to it, okay, so that will be easy for you. Okay. Okay, so let's read these four tones together. Okay, so the first tone is like ah. Okay, second tone goes up. We say ah. Okay, so the third tone is ah. Okay, so the last tone, the first tone, we're going to say ah. Okay, yeah, so that would be okay, the knowledge for these like 4 tone marks. Okay, any question, guys? Okay, if you don't have any questions, so I'm going to move to the next part. Okay, yeah, because we're going to do more practice with these like 4 different tones. Before we practice it, we're going to know why are tones very important. So you can see here, okay, so the different tones like indicate different meanings. For example, if you want like to ask a stranger, so like I ask you something, right? I ask you. Sometimes here, I ask you, we say 我问你. Okay, so that would be the sentence to say like I ask you. If you accidentally say like 我问你, so the meaning will be changed like I kiss you. Okay. Okay, so only the difference between these the verbs, right? So one is like 问, the last tone, and the 问, that would be the third tone, right? Yeah. So I think when you say like I kiss you to the stranger, that would be a little bit weird, right? Okay, so this is, yeah, tell us like why these tones are very important. Okay, yeah, just try to memorize it. Okay, yeah. So so let's move on to these like practice. Okay, so let's see. So the first final, still remember how can we pronounce it? So that would be oh, right? Now we put the tongue on it. So the first tone like oh, okay. Yeah, the second tone will be oh. Third tone will be oh. So the last tone will be oh. Okay. Yeah. So let me read that together. Okay. So you will, okay, you will know these like for different tones. Okay, more clear. So like oh, 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 oh. Okay. So now let's see the second final. So the second one that would be e, 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 e. Okay. So together one more time. E, 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 e. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Any question for that part? If we don't have any question, I'm going to move to the next one. Okay. Okay. Let's practice more with this one. So now you can see above this, the pinyin chart, we just put like the different tone on the pinyin, right? Yeah. Okay. On the top of, actually also you can see it's on the top of the final, right? Instead on the top of the initial. Okay. So let's see the first one, the first pinyin. So that would be the last tone, right? So because it goes down, so that would be the last tone. So we pronounce like ba, ba. Okay. So this is ba. So the next one. So next one we can see here that would be the second tone, right? Second tone because it's like goes up, right? The tone mark is goes up. So that we're going to pronounce like bo, bo. Okay. So the next one. So the next one you can see is like goes down, then goes up. So there would be like two tone, right? So that would be B, B. Okay, B. Okay, yeah. So let's see the next one. So the next initial is pa. So that would be the last one. Pa, pa. Next one is po, po. Next one is pi, pi. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the last okay initial there. So we can see it's like the first tone on the top, right? So that would be ma, ma. Okay. So the next one would be the last tone, right? The first tone. So that would be mo, mo. Okay. Yeah. So the next is the third tone. Third tone we're going to pronounce like mi, mi. Okay. So together. So it's like ma, mo, mi. Okay. So that's it. Okay. Any question for these like tone marks there? Yeah. And I think we just like finish for this pinyin part. Okay. So let's see the next one. Okay. So the next one, we're going to learn like one sentence. Okay. So that sentence will teach us how to tell someone about like where you are, like 你在. Okay, so that would be 我在, right? I'm not okay located in somewhere. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so here. So So you can see that part. So we got the very basic tense structure. So that would be the subject. Okay, so the S is subject. V, that would be the verb. Okay, so 我在. So the PW means like a place word. Okay, yeah. So that would be the basic tense structure. So normally when we say I am located in China, so how can we say? So we're going to say 我在中国. Okay, so 中国 that is China. Okay, so we say 我在中国. Okay, also means like I'm in China. Okay, yeah. So the next one we just change the another subject because we just change like you. Yeah, 你. So that would be 你. Okay, so we just need to change the subject. We can say 你在中国. 你在中国. Okay, yeah, about this. So the last one, it should be another. So there is a funny thing is like in Chinese, actually, we have like 3 ta. Actually, there are only like 2 ta, right? Only for like he and she. But for the, for it, yeah, it in Chinese also is ta. Okay, about these three characters, actually they have the same pinyin, but they have the different Chinese character. Okay, yeah. So when you guys like want to learn for like Chinese characters, yeah, so you need to figure it out. Okay, so like in which situation you're going to use like which like character for ta. Okay, but for the oral speaking, yeah, so they have no different. Okay, so that would be 他在中国. Okay, 他在中国. Okay. Yeah, so that would be this one. Okay, so also just need to memorize the structure. Okay, you can change so that sentence. Yeah, if you are not in China, right? If you are in US, okay, England, yeah, like other countries, just needed to use your country to replace for this 中国. Okay, so that would be if you are in US, right? So we can say 我在美国 because yeah, so US will be 美国. Okay, 美国，我在美国. Okay, yeah. But now for me, okay, 我在中国. Okay, so I'm going to say 我在中国. Okay, yeah. Okay, so do you guys have any question for this? Okay, I think, yeah, the class time, so yeah, it's over because like every time we only have like 30 minutes, yeah, for this like a live stream. Yeah, if you guys have like if you guys want to learn Chinese, yeah, just maybe you can just like go to find eChineseLearning this website and go to talk to our company. Okay, yeah, okay, so so do you guys have any other questions to ask? Yeah, if you don't have any other questions, I think I'm going to leave. Okay. Any question? No? Okay, so I think that's all. That's for, okay, what we learned today. Okay. Okay, so bye. Bye. Okay. Yeah, if you want to learn Chinese, just follow this like account. Okay, I think like every day. So we have like different teacher. They will like teach you guys Chinese. Okay. Yep. Okay, since you don't have any questions, so see you next time. Bye bye. Have a good day.